Hello everyone and welcome to my podcast. You're listening to Seraphina Speaks Little Girl Big Questions, the show that delivers you my take on topics that are important. I'm your host, Seraphina Marlena Durbin. Let's go right ahead to the show. Hello listeners and welcome to a special episode. Today I have my very first guest on the podcast and he's come to talk to us about an important topic. Some of you may already know lots about this topic. Perhaps you've never spoken about it before. Before we meet my guest, I want to talk to you about something. You might have heard about the death of a black man called George Floyd. He died whilst being arrested by police officers in Minnesota. He's not the only black man or woman who's been unfairly killed because of the colour of their skin. Perhaps, listeners, you've seen pictures of the protests that happened all around the world. People are done with racism. Isn't it time that we put an end to all this? Who cares what colour our skin is? Us kids are the ones that can truly change the world. We can get rid of racism. My guest today is Selwyn Jones. Selwyn is George Floyd's uncle. He's determined to make the world stop being a racist place. I recorded this with my mummy Danusha in a special way because I'm not quite ready for a live interview. Let's listen to his answers to my 3 big questions. I'm very sorry that your nephew George Floyd was killed. How are you doing, Selwyn?
I'm determined to make an impact on this world so she won't be judged by the color of her skin, but the content of her heart and her mind. Just simple. Why? It doesn't need to be, wow, look at the pretty little white girl. Oh, look at the pretty little black girl. Why not just look at the pretty little girl? You know, why single out what they are when what they are as human beings and people and boys and girls and angels, and kings, We just got to keep pounding. That's all we got to do. And it helps when you got mamas like you that put little angels out in the world like that. God, that makes me feel great.
George's death was a big world event. What was that like for your family?
Overwhelming, to know that we have an opportunity to make a change for babies like yourself, parents, because you have to do what you have to do until you can do what you want to do. So we have to preach, we have to discuss, we have to conversate, we have to irritate, and we have to organize until things are equal. I'm sure we're going to try to make it equal.
What can us children do to stop racism?
You can put 100, 1,000, 4 to 7, 8, 9-year-olds on the same playing field. And how many fights will they be because of the color of your skin? None. You might fight over a toy, but you won't fight because somebody's darker or somebody's lighter than you are. Your mind has not been tainted with choices or have been tainted with opinions of who is and who isn't. Your mind is free. If adults would take part of what y'all have at that age, just freedom, just wanting to live and be happy and be kind and be gentle, we live in a heck of a lot better world. There was a young lady that had 10 students line up, and she all asked them questions. You answered the question, you moved forward. You did answer the question, you stayed still. They were, a couple of Asians, so Hispanic, whites, blacks. First question was, how many people worried about dinner? How many people have ever worried about whether you were going to eat that day? Caucasian people move. How many people ever worried about whether you're going to have heat at night? The Caucasian people move. You see where I'm going with this? There's so many things in people. There's so many things in this world that haven't been fair because of the color of your skin. We just all gotta figure out a way to make it better, because this ain't a me thing. This ain't a you thing. This is a us thing. There ain't no I in team, but I'm sure going to try to do my part.
Thank you very much for answering my questions and being part of my show. Selwyn, I'm sending you and your family lots of love. I promise to do everything I can to stop racism.
God bless you, my dear, and thank you. And UK, thank you for giving me the opportunity to spread my movement and to hear my scraggly voice. Hopefully we got a little something from it, and we can understand where we're at and where we need to be.
Listeners, what did you think of what Selwyn said? You can write me at Seraphina@seraphinaspeaks.com. I love hearing your thoughts and your opinions. My big question today is, how do we do our bit and get rid of racism? I think there's one pretty obvious way that we can help to get rid of racism. By talking about it, of course. Thankfully, that's one of my big talents. Talking about things is important. When we talk with other people, we hear their ideas and opinions. It also means we don't just hear one side of the story. Listeners, when this episode ends, will you find a friend and someone from your family and talk to them about racism? I'm determined to do my bit and keep talking about big, important topics on my show. That's it for today, everyone. I hope you join me next week for another episode. Join me then to find out what it's all about. Bye, everyone. Stay safe. Lots of love. Wow, I hope you enjoyed the show, everybody. If you like what you hear, click the subscribe button. This podcast is made possible by listeners like you. Thank you for your support. Don't forget to check the show notes. Leave me a review wherever you listen to your podcasts, because then more people can find my podcast.